A lot of Niners are going to get awards this year. A lot of Pro Bowlers, a lot of All Pros, a lot of this of the year, that of the year, most valuable, best. There's one guy who's most deserving of an award this year. Who is it?
I mean, I think we're splitting hairs when we're talking about the MVP award, because I think, like I said, you can make a case for Brock Purdy or CMC. So for me, I'm going to remove the MVP award from it because I could go either way with that. I think Fred Warner should be in the conversation for DPOY. I think Kyle Shanahan should be in the conversation for Coach of the Year. Hell, I think Lynch should be in the conversation for Executive of the Year. But one guy, in my opinion, that I think deserves an award more so than anybody, especially the way that he was written off for 3 weeks, really undeservedly so, is Wilks.
Yeah.
I think he's assistant coach of the year on the defensive side of the ball. And you look at this defense and what it was and what he took over and the pressure, it was a number one defense. This defense is every bit as good, if not better than it was last year. That's insane. You took over the best and made it better. And that was after everybody was writing you off and said, oh, they should have hired Fangio and you might get fired and all these other things. He took the brunt of why the 49ers were losing. It wasn't right then. And his defense is performing at a very, very high level. In this secondary in particular, his fingerprints are all over the development of this secondary. This secondary is probably the best that it's been in the Shanahan era, and it's because of Steve Wilks. So I'm going to go with Steve Wilks.
This defense couldn't stop a mobile quarterback until Steve Wilks got here.
Yep.
This defense was giving up long passes until Steve Wilks got here. And what's interesting is last year they gave up like 17-something points a game, and DeMeco Ryans won Coordinator of the Year and became a head coach and has been very successful so far, or successful. Steve Wilks comes here, improves the defense, has given up 15.8 points per game this year. And all people can remember about him is that he was kind of scapegoated for the 3-game losing streak and forced to move from the coach's booth to the sideline. No one's really looking at him or talking about him yet as a super hot head coaching candidate. That could happen. But DeMeco is always on the radar. I don't know why. Maybe because he's younger. He played in the league. People know who he is. Steve Wilks been around. He's been fired a couple of times, but I think he's a better defensive coordinator than DeMeco. Like, I don't know. He's doing a great job, Steve Wilks.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job. Who would you give an award to?
Well, Kyle. How about Kyle? I mean, who's doing a better job than it's the whole team. Who's doing a better job than him this year? Dan Campbell?
Man, I mean, you can make an argument for a couple guys, but I don't think that you can say for sure they're doing better than Kyle.
I mean, the Dolphins just lost. Houston just lost. Jets fell off. The Lions are kind of falling off. John Harbaugh, maybe? But is he really doing a better job than Kyle?
No, probably not.
I think Kyle should get more love in this one. I mean, it's not Nick Sirianni. It's not Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
It ain't Andy Reid.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be Mike McDaniel. That team doesn't have any like great wins.
No.
They lost to the Eagles.
No, they don't have any quality wins, actually. They have 0 quality wins. 0.
Because I feel like this Niners team is so good that you can't just single out someone. It's got to be John Lynch or Kyle. It's such an organizational win. It's such a juggernaut. It's got to be one of those two. You can give it to the quarterback. But it's so much more than him.
I mean, maybe if the Bengals sneak into the playoffs without Burrow, you might be able to give it to them or their head coach, Taylor. Maybe you could argue Browns because of all the injuries they've had and they're still in this playoff hunt. If they make the playoffs, maybe you can make an argument for those two, but I think Kyle probably should be coach of the year. Yeah. I think he should have been it last year. So definitely, I think he should be it this year. They get the number 1 seed? Certainly.